Hello, Queen Ages, Flourishes. How are you? I'm asking this because the transitional period between moving from one season to another can be interesting. And I'm finding that the coziness of moving from autumn, knowing that winter is coming, is quite a nice feeling, actually. It is a kind of period of death, of letting go, and I'm watching the physical nature of trees letting go of their leaves, and I'm really lucky that I am surrounded both sides of my apartment, that there are big trees and we're kind of up in the canopy on one side, which is really beautiful. And watching those leaves slowly turn golden and falling to the ground. And I want to ask you, what are you letting go of? Now, for me, this is huge right now because I'm letting go of a place, a home that I have built for the past 8 years. And I'm letting go of physical things that hold memories. And I know this is going to be a theme for my Fluck Fridays for the foreseeable future. As I'm moving towards the days getting darker and knowing that in late December, I will be moving to the other side of the planet where it's summer and a very different climate. The days and nights are different to the days and nights here and in Finland, if you're wondering where I am. And there are some intentions that I'm setting around how I'm moving forward. And one of the things that I have focused on for the last few weeks is ease and flow and how that is showing up in my life. And by focusing on ease and flow and being intentional about ease and flow, it can really shape what you focus on. And it has been really interesting to also take note of the reactions to people in the community that we live now, my husband and I, and their reactions to us moving. And for us, it seems right. It's so very right. And ease and flow has shown up in ways that are kind of maybe unexpected. It was after I got the job really quickly that I then decided that ease and flow was how I was going to keep going. And it has just shown up. Processes have been easy and are flowing and moving us forward to this kind of new stage in our life. Things are appearing. It might be information or it might be books or podcasts. And I've even noticed that the algorithm, yes, those things on social media are kind of shifting as I look towards Australia and look towards the Southern Hemisphere and different things that I'm interested in, nature and concepts and ideas around how we interact with nature and how important it is to preserve nature are appearing with an Australian focus. So, of course, that is me shifting towards, well, I'm moving to this new continent. New in terms of I'm now nearly 52, and the last time I lived in Australia, I was in my early 40s, and I haven't even lived where I'm moving to, Adelaide. Haven't lived there for 12 years. So things change in over a decade, and I'm noticing what I'm interested in and how that's showing up in different ways. So it's exciting. It's exciting moving towards a new stage and to release many of the things that perhaps I might have thought were important, but I'm finding now I'm looking at objects in my life, and I have talked about this before in a Fluck Yeah Friday episode of what I'm releasing and what I'm holding on to. And the more, it's a slow process. It's a slow process, and it's intentionally slow. I know that we have approximately 9 weeks before we actually leave, and there are things that are needing to happen, and we're slowly moving towards releasing things out, like physical things. We're giving away particular items in my kitchen and to people I know who are going to use them, and we're selling things. I'm looking at the Buy Swap Sells site. Normally I avoid it like the plague, but for people who are looking for things. So I haven't even had to physically put up any pictures of anything to sell yet, because I've just gone on the album where people are looking for things, and I've reached out to them, and so I've sold things via that. We're giving away things. We've asked people, are they interested in particular items that we have? So that's a really fascinating process. It's a slow, intentional letting go of the things, knowing that we're now opening space for us to move somewhere else with a fresh start, I guess. And it begs the question of how much are we hanging on to that we don't really need, that it's not serving us. And it could be habits, and it could be a connection to ourselves, or things that we say to ourselves. Perhaps there are some things that we can let go of. And it's interesting because I am going through that process of, whilst I'm letting go of physical things, I'm also questioning, how am I going to be and show up in where I used to live, in this place that is home in some ways, but also very new. So a lot of things, it's kind of deep, and a part of my every single day is that I'm very aware of this shift and this moving of energy and focus and intention towards a new stage, a new season. So it's quite reflective in some ways, in many ways, but also this presence and grounding that is required for me to be able to move forward in the way that I intend, the way that brings all the skills and uh, all of the new things that I have learnt in the last 8 to 10 years, bringing that with me and making sure that I'm not just hooking in to old habits and old ways of being. Geography and place can trigger that in us. So being intentional around it means that you're at least aware that it's going to happen. So I'm leaving you with the question of, how are you feeling as we move into a new season? You might be listening from somewhere where it's really obvious that the seasons are changing, and it could be that you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're moving towards like spring into summer, or you're in the Northern Hemisphere like me right now, where winter is coming, and you might even have snow already. We don't. It's quite warm. We're surrounded by water. So the leaves are still changing color and um, falling. Maybe that's still to come for you wherever you are. Or maybe you're somewhere where you don't notice the seasons, or the seasons are in a different form. But how are you moving through that? How are you moving through these seasons? It might also be a season in your life. Perhaps you are like me, you're postmenopausal, although it's all just seems to be an amalgamous blob sometimes, because hormones still ruling my life in some aspects. But it might be a stage. Maybe you're starting a new project, or you're moving like we are, maybe even not so far. So how are you being intentional about that? What are you saying? What are you setting for your intentions? And that is the end of another Fluck Yeah Friday. I've managed to talk for nearly 10 minutes. Incredible. Um, I wish you an incredibly beautiful weekend. And I will be thinking of my son, who has his birthday on Monday. And he is an incredible human being. And I'm very much looking forward to moving closer to him. So, and also my daughter, of course, but it's his birthday, so he'll be very much in the forefront of my mind. So, wish my dear Finn a very happy birthday. I don't think he watches these videos, but all of you will be wishing my glorious son a very happy birthday on Monday. Thank you all for bearing with me this long. Happy Friday, happy weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.